That's really the goal of this project. It's not to tackle things that are already happening here in the Rogue Valley, but to be able to increase the kinds of events and things that we can hold here in the Valley. So our goal is not to compete with existing arts organizations, but to broaden the breadth of what's possible here in our Valley.
Yeah, you guys are so community-oriented, and that is one of the reasons that I met you guys, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and then I begged you to take part in Downtown Art and Sound last year. And it was no begging, because you guys are so community-oriented that you jump on board for things that you know will help the community.
Well, why wouldn't we be part of Downtown Art and Sound or the Edgy Art events? Because our goal is to increase the exposure and the breadth of arts and cultural opportunities here in the Valley. That's exactly our mission. So it's a perfect use of the facility, and someday when we finish it and can actually open the doors, we'll be able to do a lot more of that. But we're really excited we could be part of those kinds of community events.
Yeah, and I love that you have included so many local musicians just in the events that you've had so far with it being closed, and I know that you're going to continue that when it opens. Let's talk a little bit about, when did the doors close on it? It was like 1988 or something?
1986. So the theater opened in 1930. It's a beautiful Frank C. Clark building. If you're from the Rogue Valley, that name probably registers. So many of the beautiful buildings and fine homes here in our valley are Frank Clark's designs. He was sort of the first major architect of renown here in the Rogue region.
Yeah.
And so it is a stunning, beautiful building, but it's gone through so many iterations over the years. And I don't think there are very many people left in the valley who recognize how beautiful that building originally was meant to be. It's been boarded up for 30 years, since '86, and it's really time for us to get the thing back open again, and so our community can come back together and enjoy it. There were 5 of these beautiful movie palaces in downtown Medford when the Holly opened. It is the only one that is still standing the way it was originally designed, so it's the last opportunity to save a little bit of that history.
That's so amazing. Listeners, if you're local and you haven't been on a tour of it yet, do you guys still have your
first Saturday of every month, 11 to 1, every half hour? They're completely free tours.
Yeah.
And I suspect the September tours will be very, very full, and I'll tell you a little bit more about why that is later on. But definitely come down and see what the project is all about. There's no high-pressure sales or anything else. We just want you to see what this beautiful venue has been and what it will be when it's complete.
Yeah, it was really interesting when I went on it, and he's absolutely right about the no high-pressure sales, because I actually raised my hand and said, hey, what if I just want to donate? I'm a starving artist. Can I donate $5? And they're like, yeah, whatever you want, just be part of supporting us. So, yeah, they were very easygoing and stuff. But it was just the information that was so interesting, and you guys have the best volunteers ever.
We do.
Yeah, and I think we should do a shout-out to Carl Stonke, because he's such an amazing volunteer coordinator, although now he has a position with the Holly.
Well, he's
kind of everything.
He's a poor guy. You say you've got some time, we'll fill it. But yes, he's now our Director of Development and Community Outreach, but he still does the volunteer coordination part of the job, too.
Yeah.
We keep him busy.
He does an amazing job, but the volunteers also, you can see the love for the Holly. So my first introduction to the Holly was I'm thinking it was 2 or 3 years ago, and I dressed my dog up in a little 1920s or 1930s garb. I know.
Where's Emmy?
Where's Emmy? She has her own Facebook page, embarrassingly enough. But no, I dressed her up because I was doing the third now I can't remember. Was it Third Friday Art Walk in Medford? Yes, sorry. And you guys had just finished the renovations of the exterior. Was the reason that I had gone to that extreme.
The grand relighting of the marquee. Yes.
Well, I love the marquee, and it made such an impactful statement. And then when you take the tour, you can see what the inside is going to be like as well. So I know there was
be able to see even more because we're in construction right now to redo the lobby space. Sorry, did I jump? Where you wanted to go with this conversation?
You took it exactly where I wanted. You guys just did a press release, so tell the listeners about what's been happening.
Well, when you do a major project like this is a $4.5 million project, it takes a lot of community support to make it happen. So we did the facade restoration right away. We wanted to remove the blight of that building that was in such poor repair in downtown. So we did that really quickly, but then we had to go back into fundraising mode to raise the money to do the interior restoration. So very little has happened, except a lot of things behind the scenes actually have been happening. But physically, if you look at the building, there haven't been many changes for quite a while.
Yeah.
We were at a point where we had enough of the design work, enough of the historical information located, enough of the filings with the state and local landmarks commissions that we were able to do a little bit of work. So we wanted to start with a section of the lobby, which is one of the more ornate parts of the building, to show what the whole building can look like when it's fully restored. So we started with the entry foyer, and right now, when I was down there a little bit earlier today, there was no floor. You have to walk across the floor joists. There are no walls, though I believe the sheetrockers are in there now fixing that. And we're putting the columns that were in there back.
Wow.
And as part of that process, we pulled out a door frame that wasn't originally there, but had been installed many, many decades ago, and discovered some of the original paint design work, the hand-painted detail of the columns behind it. So
wow.
while we knew that detail was there, we only had black and white photos of it. We weren't sure the color scheme or the style. So now we have the color palette. Now we have the full pattern. So we can recreate all of it. The goal of this project is to bring the theater back to its original 1930s look and feel, while, of course, adding modern sound and lighting systems and more comfortable seats and things like that. But so when you walk in the door, it should feel like Frank Clark designed originally. And that's a look that there's probably less than a handful of people in this valley who've ever seen that.
Oh my gosh.
It's been altered so many times. So bringing it back to that the original look is really the intent, and we have most of the pieces, but that's one we didn't have, and now we do.
That's so exciting. You guys have like the original lights and stuff, correct? That you're having redone or something.
So lucky. So much of the building had been stripped of anything that was interesting or beautiful because it was originally scheduled for demolition in the 90s. And if you're going to tear it down, you may as well take the interesting things out of it. Since it wasn't torn down, I'm a little grumpy they did, because we've had a really hard time piecing those pieces back together. But now we have all of the original light fixtures from the lobby. We have all but one of the 5 chandeliers from the auditorium. We have at least one of every decorative element of the auditorium itself. So the window balconies, the hand painted and carved columns. We've got at least one of all of those things. So now we can take the ones we have and refurbish them, and also use them to create molds from, to create exact replicas for the rest of the building where we don't have those pieces. So now we know we can bring it back to the original look and feel in its entirety, in a way that we would have only had to sort of estimate from some pretty grainy old photos before.
Oh my God, that is so exciting. For people who are listening and are interested in making a donation to help fully restore the Holly, how do they find that information? Where do they go?
Well, the easiest is to come on a tour. We'd be happy to show you the building so you really want to give to it. I swear it sells itself. We don't have to do any high-pressure sales. All you have to do is see what it was and what it can be when it's done.
I agree.
And hear those incredible acoustics. I can't wait to hear the Seaons in there. I have to say it.
Yeah, you guys, I don't know if they saw, we put musicians playing in there, and it's all, dilapidated glory for Edgy in October, and it was so interesting that, remember those two, Cole Cullen, where I was like, why are they facing the other direction when I walked in? Right. And then we realized they were playing to the Holly Theater. All the musicians that came out of there said the acoustics were amazing. And that's with it all stripped down. It was like a construction zone. Well, that was beautiful.
We had an all-acoustic string band in there. Reminds me, Old Mountain Dew, I think.
Oh, Old Mountain Dew,
and
yeah.
They could stand in the middle of the auditorium. They weren't even on the stage. They could stand in the middle of the auditorium, and the sound carried out onto the street.
Yeah.
So people would hear them play and then come in the building, which is pretty phenomenal. String instruments don't carry that well unless they're amplified, and they weren't. But the building's acoustics are so profound that it's so... In fact, we're going to have some trouble with amplified concerts, I'm worried, because the acoustics are so very good.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it was designed well.
We were talking about donating. Not to get back to the money point.
But I do want to, because some of the listeners are not from this area, and they hopefully, we'll get some who are interested in donating. So if they're not in this area, how do they also get to your website?
Well, hollytheater.org is the easiest way to find us, and that's theater, Theatre, hollytheater.org. Hollytheater.com will send you to a small independent theater in Georgia, who are friends of ours, since they get our web traffic and we get their email. We've had a lot of communication.
That's awesome.
But hollytheater.org will get you to our website where you can learn more about the project, but you can also donate from there. You can let us know you'd like to volunteer. We have an army of volunteers, and we are always recruiting more.
Yeah.
And you can find out what the project is meant to be. We're restoring the building for 3 reasons, and I think 2 of them are really obvious. We have an incredibly beautiful building that's been derelict for a long time, but it has a lot of history for a lot of folks here in the Rogue Valley and beyond. When we do these tours, we have people from all over the country who come back and say, I grew up here, I remember this theater. I am so excited that you're bringing it back to life. But the 3rd reason, I think, is probably a little less important, less obvious, but probably the most important, and that's the economic vitality that a project like this brings to an area. All you have to do is look at the Rogue Valley and you can see that it works. But in my previous 2 theater restoration projects in the San Francisco Bay Area, you can see what's happened to the community once the theater is reopened. My theater in San Jose was in the red light district. Everyone said, why are you wasting money? Yeah. No one's coming down here. This place is scary. It's actually, frankly, I don't want to be seen here. By the time the theater opened, within 5 years, it became the most desirable neighborhood in the city. That's where all the new restaurants went, all the new arts organizations, several small art galleries and museums moved in. It's now where all the street fairs and festivals happen, is out in front of the theater. And that kind of change is what's so powerful about a project like this. Yeah. You can bring people into a neighborhood they otherwise had no reason to be in. And it's people who are all looking to have a good time. They've got money in their pocket, or they wouldn't have been buying show tickets. So they can afford to go out and have dinner before the show, drinks after, go to coffee, invite their friends out for dessert after the show. And all of that traffic is what helps build a neighborhood back. Ashland wouldn't look like it does without that arts traffic. Yeah. Jacksonville probably wouldn't exist as a downtown district without the Brit festivals. And in downtown Medford, the most vibrant part of our downtown surrounds the Criterion Theater. So it really does work well. And the corner where the Holly is pretty quiet. We'd love it to be really hard to park because it's so busy.
Absolutely. And we need this in Medford. I can't wait to be involved with you more in the future on art events and helping bring art and music and stuff to the downtown Medford.
We'd love to join the Cammy Tribe of Art.
You guys have been there since I met you. You know that. Well, we're going to go to another song from the Seaons, which is going to take mine and Randy's breaths away. I'm finally breathing again, and now I'm putting it back on. These guys are amazing. I knew that when you guys played at Edgy in October. Like, I was so busy on that day, and I stopped and just listened to you guys. I was like, wow, these guys are talented. So then to have you here in the studio and just in this small space and hear your voices and stuff, I'm enthralled. So, what are you guys gonna play this time?
Well, first off, we appreciate the kind words, Cammy. It's really nice. I'm glad you guys like it.
It's heartfelt.
And right now we're gonna play our first song off of our first album, and it's called 7. And that's how it goes.
And the album is called Sungun.
Yeah.
Oh, and where is your website? We're going to mention it again, but where do people find your music?
Well, right now our official website is under construction. We're kind of working on it for the album that's going to come out soon. Okay. So that's Seaons.com. You can check that out once in a while. You'll find us changing it in the future. And if you want to check out our music, the best place is seaons.bandcamp.com. And right there you'll have some downloads and our latest single, Rain, which you'll hear later too.
And it's spelled Seaons.
Yes. Cool. I had to look up how to say it. You say it's Seaons, but it's Seaons, which I always remember by you take the S out of seasons, and that's how you spell it, right?
Perfect.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Somehow I got it right. That's because I enjoyed your music so much. I actually paid attention. So I did put a link on today's podcast is going to be on artontheairwaves.com. And there will be a link there if you forget the spelling or you want to go purchase some of their amazing music. So here's the Seaons.
Why do we wait? Why do we hate? 7, 1 number away. The devil comes those days. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The sky, the sun. Well, it's all. It's all gone. Singing, whoa, my love will come home. Whoa, see it go, see the guns. All the war has begun. Wait for it, await the sun. We gotta go. Well, it's all. I took my sins and I let them go. I took my sins and I never came home.
Oh my gosh, I cannot follow them. They're so good. What is that, Grayson? What is that thing that you're playing?
Most commonly referred to as a shaker.
Oh, I could have just said that because I probably would have guessed that. I just didn't assume I would. That was really cool. So tell us again all of your guys' names.
I'm Grayson.
I'm Sean.
I'm Micah.
And they're from the Seaons, which is seons.bandcamp.com.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And where are you guys playing locally upcoming?
Uh,
I
Actually,
totally
actually,
put them on the stop.
We don't have any local shows. Our next show that's scheduled is actually in Baltimore, Maryland. But
I better buy a ticket.
We do have some shows. We have a tour coming up, but a lot of it's up in the air right now, so we're not really sure.
Oh
But that's our only scheduled show right now.
Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. Okay, well, we're back with Art on the Airwaves with Cammy Davis on KSKQ 89.5 FM, and I'm going to put Randy back on the air. We want to talk to Randy McKay a little bit about what they've got upcoming at the Holly Theater, because I know there's something like really exciting going on, like in about a week. I was surprised he was still in one piece. Actually, I'm showing on the YouTube, I'm holding this up because you guys need to see this. Randy is so busy. I'm surprised he's still a human being, and he shows up with these gorgeous flowers for Grandma.
Aw. Well, you and Grandma deserve them.
Thank you. So let's tell the listeners what's happening, and the mics are falling apart and everything.
I'm just not going to touch it. So.
Okay, there you go. So what is happening at the Holly Theater for this week?
Well, I'm...
Yeah,
Okay,
I tried to help, and I made it worse. Okay,
right,
never mind.
Well, I'm really excited that our dear friend Jim Belushi is joining us for a major fundraising concert to help us raise funds for the theater's restoration. He has been amazing, as probably some of your listeners know. He has just finished building a home here in the Rogue Valley.
Wait, can I just repeat that sentence?
Yes, you can.
Our dear friend Jim Belushi. I just wanted to say that once in my life. Okay, so onward.
Well, he's just finished building a home here in the Rogue Valley. He's been coming here for the last 10, 12 years. He has friends here and been fishing on the Rogue and really loves this beautiful place. He just feels like it's a really spiritual place for him. Mm-hmm. And so he's been looking for a place that he could buy or build here. And he was finally able a year and a half or so ago to acquire some beautiful property on the Rogue River and has been building a home here. It was the subject of a reality TV show on the DIY network. And
is that still in process, or can people still watch it, or is it already...
The show has already aired, but it's now airing in reruns. I saw that it just started a second airing, I think, last week. So.
I want it on Netflix or Hulu soon. I've got to see it.
I'm sure it'll show up somewhere eventually.
And it's called Building Belushi
on
DIY. Okay.
And as part of that construction project, some of the subcontractors on that project also are working on the Holly Theater project. So our general contractor said, "Hey, Jim, I've got this interesting project downtown. You might find it kind of interesting. Why don't you come, take a little, we'll show you around." And so he came and toured the Holly in the dead of winter. We don't have heating or air conditioning yet. It was, 20 below, and you could hang meat in there. And he was sick from, a trip he'd just been on, but he fell in love with the place and immediately said, "How can I help?"
Wow.
And so we said, well, let us count the ways. And a couple months later, he joined the fundraising team as the honorary chair of our fundraising team.
That's so cool.
And he appeared with us in the Pear Blossom Parade a few months ago in downtown Medford. And since then, it's just sort of blossomed. He wanted to bring his band here. They are phenomenal. 36 Grammys between them.
Oh, my goodness.
So they are a group of studio musicians primarily out of the LA and Nashville areas, and they are joining him on stage, not at the Holly, since it's not open yet, but we're out at Edenvale Winery. They have a new amphitheater space. Will be the first really large event to take place out there. I know Thrive has done a couple of blues and bluegrass kind of events out there, but this is the first thing where we've got a large crowd there all at the same time, as opposed to a come-and-go kind of event. It's next Saturday, August 29th, and it is going to be a pretty phenomenal event. If you are lucky enough to have already gotten VIP or dinner tickets, you are going to be in for some interesting treats. The dinner itself will be a little bit of theater all on its own. We have the West's largest paella. It's over 6 feet across. So that giant paella will be feeding everyone to dinner.
Oh my god.
And it'll be cooked right out there in front of everybody. So you get to see this massive paella pan
that's so cool.
there. So that's pretty awesome. And then if you have VIP tickets, there's only 150 of those. They went in the first week that things went on sale back in April. But if you're one of those lucky few, you'll be partying with Jim Belushi afterwards, and you'll get a signed copy of his CD. You'll get photos with him after the show. So, but if you don't have your tickets yet, there are still lawn seats available, but they're flying out the doors at something like about 150 a day. So I expect they may be gone by the time this weekend is complete. So if you haven't gotten them, go to Edenvale Winery, go to their website, or go to hollytheater.org and get your tickets, because this is something you don't want to miss.
Absolutely. And the lawn tickets that are left, they were pretty affordable. Weren't they like $30 or something?
$33, yeah. $33. Not too bad to
pretty
get to
affordable.
See our new local legend and his incredible Grammy-winning team on stage, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I would be remiss in not letting you know that Duke Street, local blues band here in the Rogue Valley, will be opening for Belushi.
Oh, cool.
And several of the members of Duke Street have already been on stage with Mr. Belushi at a housewarming party out at his place on the Rogue River earlier this spring. So it should be a really fun evening out at Eatonville Winery.
That is so cool. Now, how many, or I'm going to say when you sell all the tickets, how many people will be there then? What's the total?
Because this is the first event of this scale out there, we're trying to keep it achievable. It's 2,000 tickets, and they are almost gone.
I thought that's all the total population of this area. Really?
Well, yeah, everybody in the Rogue Valley is going to be there.
I
Don't
know.
be left
I see
out.
that. I know, right?
No, 2,000 people. I think the amphitheater could actually handle more, but because it's the first event out there, we wanted to know that we could manage it. So we're capping the sales at 2,000, and I have a block of 100 tickets left. Edenvale has about 50 left when I checked with them late yesterday, and there are about 50 tickets left at the Terra Firma stores in Jacksonville and Medford, and that is it.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. So what else for the hall? We've got maybe 5 or so minutes left to talk to our guest today.
While we throw
yes.
microphones on the throat.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you, perhaps. Was that not enough? So what can people expect? Because people are always starting to ask me, like, when is the Holly going to be open and stuff like that?
That question is my
It's
favorite. I wish I had a good answer.
I'm guessing you've heard that once or twice.
Here is the answer.
Okay.
We have 12 months worth of construction work to do. I have $2 million to raise. Now, I will tell you that if you come to this event a week from Saturday, I believe you'll be hearing us. It's not finished yet, so I can't say with great certainty, but I believe you'll be hearing us make an announcement about a major contribution toward the Holly. So
good.
we'll be chipping away quite substantially at that $2 million price tag that's left, but it really is the speed of fundraising that tells us how long it's going to take us to get to opening night. Once I'm at about 75 to 80% of the fundraising goal, we can actually really start the full construction project, and that's 12 months worth of work. So we're talking a year and a half or so at the very earliest before the theater's open. Once it's open, you'll be seeing the Seaons open for some great act there, I guarantee it. Yeah, we haven't talked yet, but just so you know. And we will be doing a whole week worth of great opening festivities there. I want to do things that are in every price range. There'll be some gala opening events that really are going to be fairly pricey. There will also be things there that just about anybody in Medford could afford to do, and free tours of the theater, because I think it's really important that the Valley understand this is their venue. It's not my venue. It's not my company's venue. It's the Valley's venue. It's a place that they should feel comfortable and excited about. And they're the ones putting the money in to build it.
Yeah. I love that about you when we were working together on the Downtown Art and Sound and the Edgy events, was that I always had this strong belief that art is for everyone, and people don't realize that. Some people get intimidated by art, afraid they're going to say the wrong thing, or they're not going to know how to appreciate the art or whatever. And I felt like you had that same type of belief of, let's get everyone involved. This isn't a nose up in the air, it's only for the elite type of thing.
No, obviously there are certain artists that I can't bring in for a price point that isn't fairly steep. But if you look at our programming in Reading, you'll see that we program a really wide variety of genres. We program a really wide variety of price points. We program performing arts. We produce our own in-house theater shows. We bring in artists of every size and scale, whether they're small up-and-coming artists or whether they're major touring, international touring artists. We have a range of price points from really inexpensive to really fairly steep. Usually within the same show, we try to make at least a few seats available to a wide price point. It's got to be everyone's theater, or it's not going to be successful. And it wants to be everyone's theater, that the whole community can come together and celebrate how great it is to live here in the Rogue Valley.
Absolutely. I love that. Well, we just got a couple of minutes left, so I want to give everybody's website reminders and any last-minute thoughts. So, Randy, let's start with you. Just a brief rundown of what you've got going on and how people can get the information.
Well, hollytheater.org is the best way to find out more about us and about the Theater Restoration Project. It's also your opportunity to buy tickets for the Jim Belushi fundraising event coming up. He has been so kind to us. He has donated his fee, which is a huge help, to help us be able to make this fundraiser
Thanks, Jim.
actually raise a substantial amount of money for the restoration project. So a large portion of every ticket purchased goes directly to the Holly Theater Restoration. So please do buy those tickets. Help us build this place.
That is so amazing. And you've got to jump on that right away if you want the tickets because they're going fast.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. And if for some reason you miss it, please go to the website anyway and think about donating. It's such an amazing theater.
And if you miss it, he is also appearing the night before at our Cascade Theater in Reading. It's only 2 hours and a beautiful mountain drive away. So if you can't get tickets here, you can go there the night before.
How far is it to Reading? Isn't it only
2
like 2 hours?
Yeah,
and
2
it
hours.
is beautiful. I went to San Francisco recently. That is a beautiful drive.
Yes.
Okay, very
Right,
cool.
unplugging.
Thank you, Randy. And we also have in the studio, we have the Seaons. You guys got to hear a couple of their songs live, which was just breathtaking. And we're going to send you out with one of their songs today. Guys, can you give the listeners your contact info and whatever else you want to say?
Well, if you want to download our
Oh, wait. Wrong. See, part of the mic problems might be me. They're like, where's the sound team? Okay, this is Grayson talking. Go ahead.
If you want to download our music, you can go to seons.bandcamp.com. And seons.com right now just has an email subscription form that you can fill out to be notified about future things when that happens.
Okay.
I forgot to mention that, but.
Seaons. Seaons.
That's me again, making the mistakes on the sound thing. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so what song are we? Tell us about the song we're singing out to.
The song is the first song we've released from our new album coming out, and it's called Rain.
Okay, so this is Rain by the Seaons. Thank you to Randy McKay from the Holly Theater for being with us today. And thank you for listening to Art on the Airwaves with Cammy Davis on KSKQ 89.5 FM. This is Rain by the Seaons.
Turn up the monitor. Turn up the monitor. There you go. Those are great.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
man.
You guys are amazing. I knew that before, but there is something about being in a small space.
Right.
Like, when you started, we were just sitting here talking, you were a normal person, you started singing, it was like, are you kidding me? You guys are
Oh, man.
really, really good.
Thank you.
We have recordings.
Yes.
We,
Yeah,
Maya
we
will be bolting in at some point.